So the meditation follows the traditional Tibetan script. So we will invoke the presence of Jesus, and then we will bathe in his presence. And then one can do different practices there, but we will make it very simple. So there's a bit of, in the script, in the Tibetan tradition, there's some, you make offerings and you confess, you open up, and so on and so on. And we will make it more simple. And then there's the dissolution. So that's called front generation. Yeah? So front generation of Buddha nature, or and then there's the dissolution. And actually, in the script in the Tibetan tradition, with the dissolution, you actually would die. So the egoic process would die. So you would go to the death process. We are not going to do that; it's too complex. But so that's the idea. So that what you think you are, and that what you will lose very soon, that dissolves, and then from that openness and connectedness, you arise again in this body, but from a different place. So from the Christ consciousness place. So this is a practice of taking the result of the path into the path, it's called. Taking the result of the path into the path. Getting there by being there. Or a little bit fake it until you make it. Yeah. And obviously it is based on the fundamental Buddhist experience that Christ consciousness is available to us. It is freely available. It is here. It's now. We have everything in this moment to be complete. That's a quote from Lama Yeshe. We have everything available in this moment to be complete. It's a matter of discovering that. And in this kind of practice, we can't force anything. So it's not like that you make something happen. So it's more that you allow something to happen. And we are not going for American Hollywood Jesus enlightenment, but we are going for what is genuine for us. And it can be subtle, it can be quiet. Yeah. It can be modest, Scandinavian modest, not American Hollywood blown up with violence in the background. So we don't wait for that. And also, it depends very much where you are right now. Maybe this is not what you need. Yeah? So it's also sometimes it makes sense to do this kind of practices a few times. Because maybe you're very distracted today, or you're very disconnected from your body because there's difficult feelings. So then there might be, you might need something else. But also, this kind of practices, they are not, for some people they are not helpful. They don't get it. I mean, if you're a very rational person, then you need more rational practices, and not like symbolic practices. And that's fine. It's not that something is wrong with you. It's just we need to find practices which fit our structure, our psyche, and our rhythms. And then also, it could be that when we do these practices, feelings like anger come up, or frustration, or resistance, or sadness, or fear. And if that kind of experience come up, like resistance, like what a religious bullshit, I came here to practice breathing meditation, and now I have to pray to Jesus. What's this? Yeah? That's understandable, and you're very welcome to have this kind of feelings. Isn't that interesting? That you have this kind of feelings. It's part of you. It's something to integrate. It's something which comes from somewhere. And there's nothing bad with feeling like that. Yeah? So then this kind of meditation still becomes a method which helps you to have some insights about you, about your structure, about your conditioning. So it's like we are not doing this practice to get somewhere, to have some special experience. So we go into that ritual, and the ritual creates a container where experiences can arise, and these experiences, they support the insight into your conditioning, into your structure, into your psyche. That's what rituals do. They create a container where something surprising can arise. And it's not always that what we wish or what we think this meditation is supposed to trigger, but it's your genuine experience, and you need to be loyal to your experiences in meditation. And no experience or no feeling is wrong. They are just feelings coming and going. So let's play. If we would be children, it would be easy. You just would go with it. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Lighting a candle, bowing. No problem. So we take some moments to reconnect, make yourself comfortable, neither too sloppy, not too tight. And if you like, you can close your eyes. If that helps you to, make this shift again from the break. Maybe you notice that you feel a bit different now than compared to how you felt when you arrived. And there might be still an aftermath of the break. Maybe you talk with people. So you just welcome your inner life as it is. You can again slightly stabilize your mind with the breath, lightly. Befriending your own energy. Allowing thoughts to drift a bit into the background. And feeling the spacious aliveness in your body. And if you get entangled into the stream of thinking, into the inner dialogue, you slide back or you drop back into the trunk of your body. And then we call upon the presence of Jesus, and he steps into the room, into the space in front of you. And he's a being of light, but also earthy, a man, vital, sexy. healthy. And you don't need to have a clear mental image, maybe you have, so it's more that you imagine the presence. So you stay somewhat connected with your body and breath. And this is a feeling of the rising eastern morning sun who dispels darkness, dispels the darkness of the night, the loneliness of the night. And you allow yourself to bathe in the sun, like in the morning sun, like a puppy or like a cat, bathing in the light of the morning sun, warming from the toes to the top of your head. His eyes, which will look right through all the bullshit, right into your heart, into your goodness and into the darkness. You are really naked. The smile is a gentle, loving smile which you feel in your belly, and there's a scent of roses and a scent of loving kindness. And you also hear his movements, maybe he even says something. Returning to the felt sense in your body, opening to the light of Christ's consciousness, bathing you. Every cell of your body opens like a flower. And whatever arises, every feeling, every sensation arises within the presence of Christ consciousness and passes. If there's something unresolved in your heart, you just hold it into Christ consciousness. And just by sitting in his glow, you become more like him. Obviously, Christ's consciousness is neither feminine nor masculine. And returning, breathing, feeling the aliveness. So there's the joy. So Jesus is of the world, in the world, a human, a man. Light. And you feel the light of Christ consciousness surrounding you. So also from the back. So you feel him in the back also. As if millions of candles are lit around you. And then Jesus steps behind you and he puts his hands onto your shoulders. And you feel the warmth of his hands, the vitality, the joy. And the vitality, the warmth, the joy, the love radiates from your shoulders into your heart, into your belly, down into your root. A flow of vitality, of love, down into your pelvis. And these hands say, I'm here with you, whatever it is. I'm willing to touch whatever it is. I'm here with you. So softening, breathing down into your pelvis. And feeling the warmth, the joy, the vitality, the healing of Jesus' hands. The touch goes into where you're ashamed, where you struggle, where you're hurt, where you're afraid, where you're hard on yourself. And Jesus dissolves into that light, into the scent of roses, into the warmth, into the vitality, the joy. And it fills your body completely, every cell of your body. You forget yourself. And you become aware of the Christ within, the Christ consciousness within, the Goddess within, the Buddha within. And you can lightly focus on your heart area, maybe breathing lightly into your heart, feeling Jesus in your heart, feeling the Goddess in your heart, the Buddha within. And then from the Buddha within, from the Jesus within, from Christ consciousness, the light pulls out into your whole body and then leaves your body to the pores of your body, into your surroundings, first here in this room, from Jesus to Jesus, from Goddess to Goddess, and then into your life, into all your relationships, father and mother, grandparents, ancestors, children, friends, husband, wife, and also into your past and into your future. You are the light. Forget yourself You are the light. You are the light in your life. Loving yourself completely, radically, and with that loving everyone else. From Christ consciousness, not from the little I, from Christ consciousness. You love the little I from Christ consciousness. Into your past, into your future. And then we will just sit quietly with whatever is for you. Spacious aliveness, a present moment, loving awareness. Can reach out to all the men and women who right now are sitting in the presence of the divine, the field of Christ consciousness, which is pervading this planet. And then we can also share the positive energy with those who are in crisis. And now, during Christmas time, may people everywhere look after each other. Also the animals. May people look after the animals. So may people everywhere, here in Copenhagen and everywhere else, during Christmas time, look after each other. May people look after each other. May people just look after each other. I'm sorry to say, but now during Christmas time, you can't eat pigs. They are people. Just don't do it. Yeah? I don't know. I think there's no time for question because I have to share two more things. Ah yeah, this one. So I mentioned already the big thing in the eye of your brother and the little thing in your own eye, and pointing. No, the little thing in the eye of the other and the big thing in your own eye. So I just want to quote that, but I'm also like this one sentence I really like. So he says, "Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there's a log in your own eye?" And now, it says, "You hypocrite!" Ah, that's Jesus. "You hypocrite!" I pray that I will be a teacher who dares to say that. It's so brave. Hypocrites. There's so many hypocrites in the Buddhist circles. I want to point that out. No, like people like Jesus, they make us uncomfortable because we know that we can't bullshit them. If you are around a qualified master in the Tibetan tradition, you feel uncomfortable because they don't play the games. And that's a sign of a true master, that you feel like he can see me, and he does. He can feel me.
This should make you feel safe instead.
It makes you feel safe when you are genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like when you hang around a master for some time. What is happening in you know, when you relax into who you are and you embrace who you are, then you also relax into the presence of the master because you're not ashamed of who you are. That doesn't mean that you need to be a goody-goody Buddhist. Yeah, that's hypocrisy. I mean, the master loves you unconditionally. Otherwise, he is not qualified to be a master. So this kind of awkwardness around the master is your own self-judgment. Yeah. And then when you relax into yourself and embracing like Jesus does your humanity completely, then you start to relax around. They can see. You don't need to hide behind some Tibetan cloth and the mala and eating vegan. Because that's all surface. That's so wonderful if you become comfortable within your own skin. And you can just show yourself. Not as like a puffed up, faking, doing all things right Buddhist, but as a human. So, you hypocrite! I like that. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. This is shadow work. I'm amazed that, one would think that like spiritual practitioners, that they are interested in their inner life, in their psyche, but many are not. And that leads then to this kind of puffed up, wow, it's so great, I'm a Buddhist, I'm in the right club. Hypocrites. I'm just training you. So, one more thing. Which one? This is a bit longer, but I will not talk so much about it. So he's talking to his students, and this is about, in the Buddhist teaching, this is called renunciation. So renunciation is this move away from what is not working for you anymore. No, away from compromises, away from wasting your life, knowing that you're going to die soon, moving away from that, not staying in unwholesome inner and outer places, but following the call you feel in your heart, singing your song, writing your poem, being yourself. So that's this move of renunciation. So you turn to that which is safe. That's called refuge. So they come together. Renunciation, the movement away from what is not working for you, towards what is really important, genuinely important for you. Knowing that you're going to die. In Jungian's thought, that's called individuation. And if you don't do that, you will be depressed. And you will die with regret. So Jesus talks to his students. He says, if any of you wants to be my follower, so now when he says wants to be my follower, he's not talking about the person Jesus. He's talking about Christ's consciousness. So if you want to be a follower of Christ's consciousness, meaning a follower of your essence, of that which is genuinely important to you, you must turn from your selfish way. You must turn from your selfish way. So selfishness is a bit, difficult. So it would be necessary to talk a bit about this. But it's like you must turn from this. What about me? What about me? Where can I get the most entertainment for free? Yeah? Where can I get the most entertainment for free? That's the in, the in in the birth story. Christ consciousness is not born in the in. It can't be born in the in. Take up your cross, he says. So take up your cross means stand up for your suffering. Feel your feelings. Be human. That's take your cross. And there the Buddhist teachings are very strong. Yeah? Like, we all struggle. And some of us are better in pretending that everything is fine. Nothing is fine. So take your cross. Take responsibility for your feelings. Stand up for your pain, for your hurt. And follow me. So again, follow me does not mean to Jesus is very strong in rejecting all structures, rejecting this church as it was. He says, the kingdom of God is within. Same as the Buddha. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. So to try to hang on to your life is like, staying in this way of living, which it's not what you really want to do, but we are afraid. We are afraid to come out. We make compromises. We stay in jobs because we are afraid to do what we are called to do. We seek security. We study what our parents say to us. We stay in relationships which are clearly not nurturing our growth. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. Yes, all that we will lose. Our iPhone, our knowledge, intellectual knowledge, our successes, the likes on Facebook. We will lose it. Soon, very soon, this will be completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. But if you give up your life for my sake, so you give up your life for Christ consciousness, you give up your life for awakening. So give up your life means give up the what about me life. To give up your life for my sake and for the sake of the good news. The good news. The good news. Like Tantra, Buddhist Tantric teachings, the really good news. You will save it. Yes, you will save your life. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? So losing your own soul, like losing the safe direction in life. Is anything worth more than your soul? Oh, I have to stop, sorry. If I get into this, I can't stop. So soul is Buddha nature. In Buddhism we don't use the word soul. But it's too personal, like my soul, and it's kind of separate, so that's why the Buddha said, no, forget the soul. Forget the soul, go for Christ consciousness, which is not personal. It's not my Christ consciousness. Okay, happy Christmas. And next year I will start again in February, but in another location in Pende, and it will be Tuesdays. So not Thursdays, but Tuesdays, and then every second Tuesday starting in February. And then also there will be a semester within the Shantideva course. So we already did 1 year, but you can join, which is like the study of the Bodhisattva by Shantideva, an Indian master. So if you're interested in looking at one of these ancient Buddhist texts through the view of, this is myth. So how can I bring this into my life? What does it actually mean? Then you're very welcome to join. It's two Saturdays teachings here in Copenhagen and 6 video conference meetings. And then we have a summer retreat also, organized by this group on Möen, I think, in Möen Retreat Center. Yeah.
And soon we will have a functioning website in a couple of days, hopefully. So all of this information will be there.
You're saying that since 2 years.
I'm personally working on it, so it's just about actually making the domain shift, and then it's up online. So I can guarantee in a few days. Then you can also subscribe to, if you want to be part of the newsletter, it will be through the website. You can just sign up, and all of the updated location information when the teachings resume, it's all going to be on there.
Yes. And if anyone likes to help the group, you can talk with
me or any other volunteer that you see.
The others. Yeah.
And thank you so much, Stephan, for
Is there someone coming before me in January?
No, you're going to be the first person that will start off the program, and that's on the 11th of February at Pende.
Yes. Okay. Good luck. Take care.
Yes. Something about the course that you do that is 7 hours. So is that only like, do you do meditation in between it, or is it just like knowledge? The sky, the heart and the sky thing.
It's both.
Okay.
So it's like here.
Okay.
It's like I always have the same kind of rhythm of meditating and then teaching.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in the online meetings, that is also a mixture of guided meditation and teaching.
Okay.
And we go along we are in 6th chapter now, chapter 6 now, so we go through the book.
Okay.
Until it's finished.
Yeah. Okay.
The book is in English.
Yeah. Yes. There's many translations of this book.
It's the one just up there.
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
If you want to skim through.
Yeah. Yeah. Better don't. You definitely need a commentary. Yeah. Just sign up. You definitely need a commentary to digest some of the stuff. Okay. So. Thank you and see you.
Thank you.